ready to go.
You're on.
Let's try this again. Take the center and the left side. And the bottom two squares. Oops, missed one. By the way, if you make it a habit of cleaning up your threads as you go along, less to mess with and clean up later. Okay, now we have the first two. I'm just going to finger press it to, when you finger press your pieces, you want to finger press to the inner square, to the outer square, and then to the inner square on each row so that all of your pieces will nest together very, very nicely. I'm just going to open and finger press this a little bit. Same thing with this one. This one gets pressed to the inner square, this way. So that when we put it together, it'll nest very nicely. All right, and this goes to inner. I had this right to begin with. Outer. I'm just going to re-finger press it. When we hit it with the iron, it'll be fine, but for now I just need to make sure my seams are going the correct way. This goes I want the seams to go away from the half square triangles because then that creates kind of a bulky seam when you put it together. Okay, so now take our top square and we're going to put it right on that middle one. And we're going to give it a go. Just make sure, I'm just looking to make sure I've got my seams aligned here on the edges. There we go. Take our next row and we'll align these edges nicely. And then we'll take our last row. Now, before I do, you could technically not even snip these pieces, these rows together, and you could just flip them over and go ahead and do that just row to row, and that would work just fine. But I do happen to want to have these pieces pressed, because I feel like that they will do much better if they're pressed. Center my seams, or clip my threads. This we want to go to the center block. I'm going to have my assistant press these. The center ones go to the center block. No, to the outer block, sorry. We're going away from the half square triangles. Now here's the top. So then we're going to put the second row right here, and they're towards the center. So when we put our second row right here, these seams, one set of seams are going one way, and the other set of seams are going the other way. So when we put them together, they will nest really, really nicely, just like that. And I'm going to see if I can get away with this without pinning. I think I can do it. It's really important when you're pressing that you don't pull or tug, because then you can have a distortion of your blocks, which is not fun. Do a double check to make sure my seams are lined up really nicely. Now I'm going to hold them until I get to that intersection that gets under the presser foot. Then I know it won't skew on me. See how we did. By the way, even people who are professionals are not 100% perfect. Great alignment, very nice. Right on the intersections. Awesome. So now we're going to press this up, and then we're going to put the last piece on, and we've got one of our blocks done. And then you're going to do the same for your other blocks. Okay, goes this way. See, your strips are towards the inside, and this piece is towards the outside. Okay, now we get to do this again, lining up our blocks, get it under the presser foot, and then I will check to make sure my seam intersection right here is good. If you find that maybe one of your pieces seems a little bit larger than the other, make sure that piece goes to the bottom, because the feed dogs will ease in some of that extra fullness. Once that intersection is under the presser foot, we can work on the next one. snip a few threads here so they're out of the way. And here we go. And here we have our block. Our block that goes, this is just one of the Churn Dash blocks, but there you go. One of those blocks. Now in our next video, get all your blocks done, because in our next video we're going to go over the sashing that we're going to do, and your secondary pattern is already here on this block here. So all we have to do is do our cornerstones, our sashing of our blocks, our cornerstones, and then we are all ready to go. Perfect.